Hello, I'm Edwin, your change agent, and welcome to experiencerealchange.com. Today I want to talk a little bit about adversity. You know, as I travel around the country speaking, I'm always approached by someone either before or after a seminar or a speech, and they ask me, well, Ed, how do I deal with adversity? How do I deal with the tough times that come along in life? You know, when we sit back and we look at the news today, we constantly are reminded of all the things that are not going well right now. You know, the disaster in Haiti and the state of the economy and people losing their jobs. And, you know, it appears to be very bleak and gloom and sad and depressing. But I always respond this way. In order for you to have a rainbow, you have to deal with the rain. You know, the sun is not going to always shine always. I realize sometimes that as you go through it, it appears like there's no end. And Murphy's Law comes into effect. You know, and Murphy's Law goes something like, you know, if something could possibly happen at the worst possible time, it will. And it's funny sometimes that life is that way. See, I went through adversity, and I deal with it on a day-to-day basis. So there's a quote that says, "Adversity is the cruel wind that tears a man down so that he may really see his true self." You know, adversity is what's going to make you reach down and discover what you're truly made of. You know, what if you did get laid off from that job you've had for the past 20 years? What if your house is pending foreclosure? Your car is about to be repossessed. You don't know where your next paycheck is going to come from or how you're going to pay your rent or your mortgage. And right now you're just caught up in the moment of the fact that I can't or I need to have this. And that can be overwhelming. But there are two things that I've always remind people of. You're never alone. Never give up. The only time you fail is when you stop trying. You know, there's a wonderful quote by Mother Teresa that says, "God said he would always be with me, and with him I could do everything. But I wish I didn't trust him. He didn't trust me so much." In other words, she said, well, I know that God is going to be with me. You know, when we were little, people, you know, my grandmother used to always make me recite the 23rd Psalm. And there's part of the 23rd Psalm that says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I fear no evil, for thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." Well, the key part of that is I walk through the shadow of the valley of death. That means that's not my final destination. That's not where I'm going. That's not where I'm going to end up. There are bigger and better things for me. But sometimes you don't realize how low a mountain is until you get to the top of that mountain. Once you're standing on top of that mountain, you look back in retrospect and say, you know what? That wasn't quite as bad as I thought it would. The only thing about bad times and tough times is they've always been here and they're going to continue to be here. The only thing that can change that is your perception, your outlook, and your attitude. You know, sometimes if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. It's within you. Take this time, take these troublesome, challenging times to discover who you are, why you're here, and what your purpose is. If you do that, then the times won't be that bad. You know, the psalmist says, anger lasts for a moment. You know, I might cry through the night, but joy comes in the morning. I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful week. Again, this is Edwin, your change agent.